The history of the Iron Bowl. Nah, the kick six, amazing. Obviously this beef runs deeper than, than just, and it's rivalry week too. So this week in CFB is going to be amazing. Hopefully it's better than what it was last week. Get this dog off my screen, bro. Bitch.
The annual game between the University of Alabama and Auburn University, known as the Iron Bowl, is one of, if not the, most intense feuds in all of sports. For one, college football is professional football in Alabama. As the two major universities in the state, the yearly matchup at season's end sets the stage to potentially claim conference dominance and derail title shots, but more than anything, a win secures bragging rights for the fan base to stun on their opposition until they line up again. Great games make for great moments, but this rivalry goes beyond the field.
Well,
it's entrenched in the state.
Well, Danny, I didn't make the video. This is just a video. I can't just look up, that, but.
Identity that's led to government intervention, poisoning of trees, and a whole lot of beef.
This video is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers and the Toyota Tacoma.
Environmental damage is no laughing matter. We should all show love to Mother Earth and Father Sky. However, openly admitting to the crime of intentionally poisoning trees in the name of fandom is so outrageously absurd that you really can't help but chuckle. I'll get into the nitty-gritty later, but in 2011, a self-proclaimed University of Alabama fan, in response to a stunning loss, committed the heinous act to retaliate against Auburn. It may all sound incredibly silly, but this is a feud rooted in centuries of hatred that somehow normalized that behavior. Let's take a stroll down memory lane. During the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln passed the Morrill Land Grant Act, allowing each state to acquire acres of land with the explicit purpose of funding higher education. Confederate states weren't immediately granted access, but when Alabama's time came, several cities battled over the land, namely Tuscaloosa and Auburn. The state could allocate the land to the University of Alabama, which had shuttered its doors for years post-war, following Union soldiers burning down the majority of the campus.
OSU's biggest rival is Texas Tech? What is TTU in?
Or to the smaller East Alabama.
What is TTU in? That Michigan? Oh, that team up north. Yo, it's no way y'all do, bro. Yo, stop, bro.
College. Which after several
I was genuinely confused. I'm like, Texas Tech University Northern?
Name changes would ultimately become known as Auburn University. Each school had
why though?
Claim. As the less established uni, Auburn contended they were broke and desperately needed the grant to stay afloat. Bama sought the acres to extend the campus into other regions, aiming to become the state's preeminent university, effectively finishing Auburn's existence. Despite University of Alabama alums in high positions and claims of corruption to swing the vote in favor of the tide, Auburn was ultimately granted the land in what became the first true upset over its big brother. When it came to football, the schools didn't see eye to eye from the jump. Auburn got the win in the series' inaugural game and labeled it as their first W of the 1893 season.
Damn!
Bama, on the other hand, recorded it as the final matchup of the 92 season since the game took place in February.
That hate is deeper than the Bloods versus Crips. Damn.
To this day, both schools record the game differently on their official athletic department websites. From 1892 to 1907, the two faced off in 12 matchups, with Auburn controlling the series.
Real
the 1907 showdown resulted in the rivals' only tie and marked the end of their yearly game for 4 decades. So why would two schools in a football-obsessed state just up and end their matchup? There were a few claims, but it ultimately came down to pure spite. Initially, reports claimed the 1907 battle became too violent between players and disgruntled fans, unable to claim a victory, turned to throwing hands.
Damn.
While fans scrapping in the crowd is for sure a cause for concern, it was nothing out of the ordinary for the series, as tensions had always run high. On-field issues were thought to be a concern as well. Before the 07 matchup, Bama head coach J.W.H. Pollard had implemented an offensive shift into the team's scheme where every player but the center moved pre-snap. It was a nifty technique, but Auburn head coach William Kineholz thought otherwise. He viewed the tactic as an illegal motion and got so fed up with Bama constantly utilizing it that he threatened to cancel the series and lobbied for officials from the North to ref the games to avoid bias in favor of the bigger program in the state. Being so upset that you're willing to quit over a concept that was deemed legal is objectively hilarious, but the final reasoning, which had the most validity, really showed the trivial differences between both sides. In negotiating terms for the 1908 matchup, the schools couldn't agree on a per diem for their players. Auburn had a figure
per
that they thought was fair, and Alabama countered with a lower amount. They ultimately never reached a compromise on the right price, and after an opportunity for the 1908 matchup came and went, both sides agreed to end things there. They say money is the root of all evil, but in this case, it just allowed both schools
They really don't fuck with each other. Damn.
to stand
Damn, this shit deep. I ain't gonna lie, this shit run deep. Yo, these niggas can't agree on nothing. They don't wanna move an inch of nothing. Nigga said it's $3, nigga $3.50. Nigga, fuck you. This shit, hey. Listen. I don't even know who LSU's biggest rival was other than Bama, but Bama's biggest rival was Auburn. So I don't even know we don't have a rival like this. Like where that shit is just hate. Like it's just hate. Like Ohio State and Michigan. We ain't got nothing like that from what I know. I've only been a fan of LSU for what, 5 years, 6 years? Oklahoma? No, it's not really. Yeah. Just like the Red River rivalry. That ain't even their biggest fucking rivals. Them niggas just come together to play a game in Dallas and just fucking party. But the real rivals, Ohio State, Michigan. Ain't UNC Duke? Oh, Wake Forest and Duke in football. Now UNC Duke in basketball? Yeah, we know about that one. Fuck y'all. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all.
strong in their pettiness and in their
I ain't helping y'all in no shape, no way, shape, or form on that day.
matchup
Figure it out.
turned out to be a total of $34. Besides the numerous attempts by powerful Alabama alumni to again cut Auburn's funding during the period without football, it seemed that both schools were totally fine with the series being over. In 1923, Auburn school president lobbied for the game to never come back and feared that football would overpower everything else for both universities.
Damn.
Years later,
This
Bama's
shit
board
run
of
deep.
trustees agreed. A century later, the dudes were pretty spot on. It seemed that the universities had finally come to terms on something, but school officials didn't speak for the people. In 1948, under pressure from fans wanting the game to resume and both schools unwilling to budge, the state government had to intervene and threaten to pull funding from both universities. Alabama and Auburn hashed out certain details like agreeing to play at a neutral site in Birmingham, but the game had to literally be brought back through state legislation. In its return, the series birthed legendary coaches of the game and iconic showdowns that are simply remembered by monikers like Punt Bama Punt or the Kick Six, but the series has always been and will always be driven by the rabid fan bases of both universities. No matter how good or bad the teams are in a season, it's a matchup that fans circle on their calendars and count down the days for the next battle as soon as the clock expires. In
No, you're not wrong.
1964, Auburn head coach Ralph "Shug" Jordan summed up the feeling perfectly. When
No, I see Oregon's is Washington. It's not. No, I'm gonna show y'all the rivalry this week because it's rivalry week, so you can see that's NFL. Dumbass, goof ass, stupid ass thing. It should be Navy versus Army. I think. I don't know why it's not Navy versus Army. Why? But why are they not playing? Oregon plays Washington. Oh, okay. It's just some of these, like, obviously Florida State, Oregon State and Washington State play each other. Virginia versus VTech. Michigan State and Maryland is a weird rivalry to have. That's, I guess. Obviously USC is the what's the name classic, the California Classic, I believe. Ain't that what it's called? Something. But yeah,
Jordan's Tigers entered the 64 matchup as severe underdogs and out of bowl contention. Journalists questioned Jordan about his team's eligibility, and Shug stamped the importance of the game, saying the yearly battle was Auburn's bowl game. That quote helped propel the annual showdown to be known officially as the Iron Bowl.
Look at DMs. Okay.
But the 1964 contest was also the first time the nation as a whole was exposed to the game. With the matchup being broadcast across the country,
it's that time of year. Oh, God. All right. Yeah.
Journalists from different states had the opportunity to cover the game and saw the droves of fans inside and outside the stadium displaying an immense amount of passion in a scene they described as nothing short of war.
Motherfuckers hate each other.
Even in the face of real conflict on the world stage, the fan bases still couldn't unite. Let's take things off the field and hit the basketball court for a second. In the 70s, while opening a new coliseum in downtown Birmingham, the new arena showcased an exhibition doubleheader featuring Auburn versus Czechoslovakia and Alabama versus Russia. When Bama took the court first, Tigers fans in the crowd pulled for none other than the Soviets. That meant during the literal Cold War, Auburn diehards had more smoke toward Bama than the team that represented the entire power that the country.
That's some real hate. That's some real hate. Niggas said, "Fuck the war. We don't fuck with y'all school." Yo, that's some deep down. Yeah. That's
tree was actively beefing with. Seriously. You can cop an original ticket stub to the game over on eBay if you're interested. Anyway, as crazy as that may sound, none of it is that surprising. This is a heated feud that's featured opposing fans going to the far extreme after a loss, and fans of the same team reacting horrifically because they weren't upset enough in the face of defeat.
What?
The decision of which school to support is a birthright for all Alabamians. But no one has captured the pulse of both fan bases quite like Paul Feinbaum. As a radio broadcaster based in Birmingham, Feinbaum rose to national prominence with an excellent formula
that nigga's ears are ginormous
of sitting back and letting eccentric callers representing both schools duke it out over the airwaves. The recipe works because with each caller, you can hear the raw emotion in their voices. You can't fake it. It's such a unique look into the psyches of these fan bases, and I implore you to tune into an episode if you haven't already. The show has produced a plethora of classic lighthearted moments of trash talk from regular callers like Bama supporter Phyllis from Mulga, and not so friendly banter, but no other moment rivals the Harvey Updike and Toomer's Corner incident. In 2010, Auburn, led by Heisman-winning QB Cam Newton, rallied from a 24-point deficit in yet another one of those historic Iron Bowl showdowns that's now known as the comeback. The win was the largest comeback in series history, which surely stung Bama fans, but both programs had their fair share of remarkable moments they could hang over each other's heads. What followed after the game is arguably more memorable for both fan bases than the matchup itself. Typically, after every major Tigers victory, Auburn's faithful head to an area of town named Toomer's Corners to celebrate. They join in together and throw rolls of toilet paper over every object, namely the oak trees. Some may think it's odd, but it's a tradition that's lasted for years, and I'm not here to yuck any yums. So when Auburn completed its miraculous comeback in 2010, as tradition, Toomer's Corner was painted with teepee. You may see where I'm going with this. A scorn.
So you niggas just go and waste toilet paper when you win? What the fuck kind of celebrating is that?
Bama fan who witnessed his beloved Crimson Tide lose heartbreakingly decided to take matters
Where's the
into
fun
his
in
own
that?
hands. Al from Dadeville, Alabama, hit Paul Feinbaum's hotline and detailed to Paul a joyride he had.
I love that shit.
The weekend after the Iron Bowl, I went to Auburn, Alabama, because I live 30 miles away, and I poisoned the 2 tumors trees.
Nigga prepared for a loss. Yeah, that's insane. He prepared for a loss. That nigga said, I went to go poison the trees before I went down there. What is this? So they have them coming out the same tunnel. They just want these motherfuckers to fight. This nigga finna fight him. Damn, this shit gets serious.
Okay, well that's fair.
Okay, that absolutely sounds like an illegal act, and you can hear Paul kind of shrugged it off, but then the caller proceeded.
I put Spike 80 DF in them.
Did they die?
Do what?
Did they die?
They're not dead yet, but they definitely will die.
Is that against the law to poison a tree?
Well, do you think I care?
No.
Okay, I really don't.
Okay.
Roll Tide.
Yep. Not only did he
Roll
admit
fucking
where
Tide.
he was from, the exact poison he used, the lack of remorse, and the potential timeline of death for the trees, but he dismounted so eloquently with Alabama's signature fan call, Roll Tide. It was a masterpiece display of the hatred between the fans
Roll
that
fucking
played out
Tide.
live on the radio. What sounded like a crazed bluff turned out to be true. Shortly after being made aware of the call, Auburn's officials tested the soil and indeed found a poisonous herbicide. What may sound simply like trees dying was the slow deterioration of an iconic Auburn landmark where fans went to pay their respects through vigils. Not long after, Al from Dadeville, whose real name was Harvey Updike, was identified and charged with criminal mischief. Later in 2013, the same year Auburn uprooted the trees, Updike officially pled guilty. Throughout the process, the University of Alabama tried to distance itself from the situation. School officials obviously weren't proud of his actions and didn't claim Updike as one of their own, but Updike for sure repped them. This was a dude who named his son after Coach Bear Bryant and his daughter after the team's namesake. What may sound like a rogue fan seeking retaliation in a deranged way was actually just another moment that helped define this beef. University officials distanced themselves because, duh, but they really have no real sway in this feud. While both schools obviously support and field the teams, they act more as an overarching power, giving room to the fans to put their hatred on display that's kept the beef alive for centuries.
Damn, that was damn. My game up. If I'm being honest, we ain't watched nothing super funny in the first 5 hours. We've been watching videos for the past 2 hours, but we ain't watched nothing funny. Like today didn't seem like it was like a funny, you know, type of. I was just chilling today. Damn.
This ESPN Films presentation is brought to you by Buick.
If you're a college football fan, you know that Alabama-Auburn is an intense rivalry. From birth, the fans in the state are almost forced to pick a side. The rivalry has a hatred. It does have this venomous quality, but it also has a human side. What's happened in the last 2 years, you couldn't really script the storylines.
What you slapping me for, little nigga?
I think at the end of the day, people who don't know anything about this rivalry will be pleased and hopefully gain some insight that they didn't know about this rivalry. Even though
Good slaps. Martin Kodabakshian.
The Paul Feinbaum Radio Network.
Jim is first up. Jim, good afternoon.
And it's really impossible for people around the country to really grasp and understand how big this rivalry has become. I mean, it is the biggest rivalry in sports, hands down.
Cam Newton. Every day I get on this radio, and the only thing I can hear is Cam Newton.
I'm in my mid-50s, and I thought I had seen everything you could possibly see in college football being in Alabama, but I've never seen anything like this.
Hell no.
It's difficult to describe, particularly to someone who doesn't live here. It's really the Israelis and the Palestinians living together in one place, day in, day out.
Where is it at this year?
Two sides that have a long history of hate.
I hate all the ugly word. If Auburn was playing Russia, I'd have to pull for Russia. No!
You got to care about somebody before you hate them.
There's always something that can go wrong and will go wrong, but it also helps make it the most intense, dramatic, passionate, compelling rivalry in all of sports.
Al is in Dave.
I thought that nigga didn't have no arm.
Hey, Al.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Well, thanks.
This year, I was at the Iron Bowl.
Okay.
And I saw where they put a Scam Newton jersey on Bear Bryant's statue. Well, let me tell you what I did. I went to Auburn, Alabama, and I poisoned the 2 tumors trees.
Is that against the law to poison a tree?
Well, do you think I care? Roll damn Tide.
Roll, Tide, roll. War Eagle.
We run around the stadium screaming, roll, Tide, roll, baby.
I'm gonna do it fairly smooth. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Now let me tell you what Roll Tide means and where it was originated.
It was a great big tidal wave, had this strength that was very fearful.
Okay, Chris.
To everybody who saw it.
Now in 1892, the old eagle started flying around the field. And the Auburn people looked up and said, War Eagle.
When you wear the AU on your chest, I can promise you if there's another Auburn person that you don't know, you will hear War
Eagle.
They're not actually even an eagle, they're a tiger. So I know what War Eagle means, but I hate it.
Well, of course, that's the enemy's slogan and chant, but I don't hear that from any friend of mine because I don't have any friend that went to Auburn.
Think about going to Auburn. No.
As far as the best athlete to ever come out of the University of Auburn, It's Charles Barkley.
Bowles number 2, behind myself.
Ringo! Hey!
I can't do that. Roll Tide!
Oh my gosh. So embarrassed.
Roll down Tide.
That nigga Harvey Updike is a fucking legend for poisoning trees?